There are moments in sports when a first-round match feels bigger than a final. Moments when history, pride, unfinished business, and destiny all collide on the same court. That is exactly what is about to happen on the legendary grass of Wimbledon. To most people, this is simply another opening round match. But for those who have followed the remarkable rise of Alexandra Eala, they know this is something far more personal. Waiting on the other side of the net isn't just another opponent. It's the woman who handed her one of the most frustrating defeats of her young career. A defeat that exposed every weakness she desperately needed to fix. Nearly 2 years later, fate has delivered the perfect opportunity to erase that memory. But revenge is only the beginning of this story, because hidden just beyond this battle lies the possibility of one of the biggest matches modern tennis has dreamed about. Before any of that can happen, though, Alex Eala must first confront the ghost she has never truly escaped. Over the past few months, one name has echoed louder than almost any other across the WTA Tour. Alexandra Eala is no longer being introduced as a promising teenager with enormous potential. That chapter is over. She has become one of the fastest rising stars in women's tennis, forcing even the biggest names in the sport to pay attention. At only 21 years old, she arrives at Wimbledon carrying something no Filipino player has ever carried before: a Grand Slam seeding. It isn't just another statistic. It represents years of sacrifice, thousands of unseen training sessions, countless flights around the world, heartbreaking defeats, and an unwavering belief that someone from the Philippines could compete with the very best players on earth. Not long ago, people spoke about Eala with cautious optimism. They admired her junior success, praised her elegant left-handed game, and believed the future looked bright. But professional tennis has a brutal way of humbling young stars. Every year, gifted juniors disappear before fulfilling the expectations placed upon them. Talent alone has never guaranteed greatness. The transition to the senior tour demands something completely different: physical endurance, emotional resilience, tactical maturity, the ability to survive week after week against players who know every trick in the book. Many never make that leap. Alexandra Eala did. But what happened this season changed everything. Instead of slowly climbing the rankings, she exploded onto the biggest stages. Grass, often considered the hardest surface to master, suddenly became her playground. While many players struggled to adjust to the slick courts and unpredictable bounce, Eala looked increasingly comfortable with every tournament. Her movement became lighter, her timing sharper, her confidence unmistakable. Every match seemed to reveal another layer of growth. Then came Birmingham. Winning titles is never easy, but the way she captured that championship announced something important to the tennis world. She wasn't surviving matches anymore. She was controlling them. Opponents who expected long battles suddenly found themselves overwhelmed by her aggressive shot-making and fearless mentality. She dictated points from the very first strike, refusing to let experienced players settle into rhythm. The trophy was significant, but it was what happened afterward that truly convinced everyone this wasn't a temporary hot streak. Berlin. Few expected Alexandra Eala to make a deep run against one of the strongest fields assembled before Wimbledon. On paper, she wasn't supposed to survive. Instead, she produced the kind of performances that instantly change a player's reputation forever. Every round raised another question. Could she really beat another elite player? The answer kept coming back the same. One victory became two. Two became three. Suddenly, some of the biggest names in women's tennis were packing their bags while the young Filipina kept advancing. Her victory over former Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina sent shockwaves throughout the tennis world. Neutralizing one of the biggest serves in the women's game isn't something that happens by accident. It requires extraordinary anticipation, perfect timing, and absolute belief. Eala displayed all three. Instead of allowing Rybakina to dictate, she stepped inside the baseline, attacked early, and completely disrupted the rhythm that has troubled so many opponents. But perhaps even more impressive was what happened next. Against a relentless counterpuncher like Elena Svitolina, raw power alone would never be enough. This match demanded patience, intelligence, and emotional discipline. Every rally became a test of concentration. Every point required another difficult decision. Yet Eala refused to blink. She matched experience with composure, proving that her recent rise wasn't built on confidence alone. It was built on complete evolution. Those victories pushed her into the world's top 30. Take a moment to appreciate what that really means. For many countries, producing seeded Grand Slam players has become routine. For the Philippines, it represents history. Millions of young athletes suddenly had living proof that reaching the highest levels of tennis wasn't an impossible dream reserved for traditional powerhouse nations. One player had changed the conversation forever. That success also transformed the expectations surrounding her career. She wasn't arriving at Wimbledon hoping to gain experience anymore. She was arriving expecting to win. And that's exactly why the draw became so fascinating. Because while everyone celebrated her breakthrough, one familiar name quietly appeared beside hers: Renata Zarazúa. For casual fans, she might seem like just another experienced player ranked outside the spotlight. But rankings rarely tell the full story. Veterans like Zarazúa become dangerous precisely because they understand how to frustrate younger opponents. They don't rely on overwhelming power. They rely on patience, variety, and years of accumulated experience. Every match becomes a puzzle instead of a shootout. Every rally feels slightly different from the last. Against players who crave rhythm, that unpredictability becomes a weapon. Eala understood this better than anyone, because she had already lived through it once. Back in 2024, long before the headlines and top 30 ranking, Alex Eala was still searching for consistency on the professional tour. She possessed all the raw ability in the world, but experience remained her biggest teacher. When she faced Zarazua in North Carolina, many believed her explosive left-handed game would simply overpower the Mexican veteran. At first, that prediction looked completely accurate. Eala stormed through the opening set with confidence. Her forehand found impossible angles. Her pace forced weak replies. She dictated nearly every exchange and looked firmly in control. It felt less like a contest and more like another routine victory on the road toward bigger opportunities. Then something changed. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't obvious. But it completely altered the direction of the match. Instead of trying to hit harder, Zarazua made a decision that only experienced players truly understand. She slowed everything down. Most players respond to power with even more power. Renata Zarazúa chose the opposite approach. She refused to give Alex Eala the pace she wanted. Instead of clean, predictable rallies, she filled the court with awkward slices, looping topspin shots, deep defensive balls, and subtle changes in rhythm. Every point became uncomfortable. Every rally demanded one more decision, one more adjustment, one more moment of patience. And that was exactly where the momentum began to shift. At first, it was almost impossible to notice. A forehand sailed just long. A backhand clipped the net. A rushed approach shot found the doubles alley. Small mistakes that seemed harmless on their own slowly began to stack together. Confidence gave way to frustration. Frustration became hesitation. Suddenly, the young Filipina who had looked unstoppable in the opening set no longer controlled the match. Zarazua sensed it immediately. Veteran players know when an opponent begins fighting themselves instead of the person across the net. She stretched rallies a little longer. She defended one extra ball. She forced Eala to hit one more winner than she wanted to. Every point became mentally exhausting. By the time the second set slipped away, the match had completely transformed. What had started as Alex Eala's match to lose became Renata Zarazua's match to control. The deciding set wasn't decided by bigger serves or spectacular winners. It was decided by experience. Zarazua patiently dismantled the aggressive rhythm Eala had relied upon, completing an impressive comeback and handing the young star one of the toughest lessons of her career. For many players, a defeat like that leaves scars. For future champions, it becomes fuel. That loss exposed something Eala desperately needed to improve. Whenever opponents disrupted her rhythm, she sometimes tried to force the issue too quickly. Instead of constructing points patiently, she searched for impossible winners. It was an understandable weakness for an ambitious young player eager to dominate. But the Alexandra Eala walking into Wimbledon today is no longer the same player who walked off that court in North Carolina. She has spent the past 2 years transforming every vulnerable area of her game. Her movement is cleaner. Her shot selection is smarter. Her patience has grown. Most importantly, she no longer appears rattled when momentum shifts against her. But what makes this rivalry even more fascinating is something very few people expected to happen afterward. Months after battling each other as opponents, they became teammates. In professional tennis, relationships are rarely simple. Players compete fiercely one week and share the same side of the net the next. Rivalries and respect often exist together. That's exactly what unfolded when Alexandra Eala and Renata Zarazúa entered the doubles draw together at Roland Garros. Imagine the situation for a moment. You're standing beside the same player who recently exposed your biggest weaknesses. The person responsible for one of your most painful defeats is suddenly your partner. Most athletes would struggle to separate those emotions. They didn't. Instead, they built surprising chemistry almost immediately. Their contrasting styles complemented each other beautifully. Eala provided explosive baseline offense and fearless returns. Zarazúa brought calm decision-making, exceptional touch around the net, clever defensive positioning, and years of doubles experience. They communicated naturally, trusted each other's instincts, and looked far more comfortable together than anyone expected. They even won their opening match in convincing fashion. For spectators, it almost felt strange watching them celebrate points together after such an intense singles battle only months earlier. But something important happened during that partnership. They learned each other's games from the inside. That changes everything. Most opponents spend hours watching video footage before Grand Slam matches. Eala and Zarazúa don't need highlight reels. They've lived it. They've practiced together. They've shared strategy discussions. They've experienced pressure as teammates. That means both women enter Wimbledon carrying information few opponents ever possess. Zarazúa knows exactly where Eala prefers to serve when facing breakpoint. She understands how quickly the Filipino likes to attack short balls. She has seen firsthand how dangerous Eala becomes when she controls the center of the court. But the knowledge works both ways. Eala understands Zarazúa's defensive instincts. She knows how often the Mexican uses her slice to change tempo. She recognizes the patterns Zarazúa relies upon when under pressure. There are almost no surprises left between them. That's why this isn't simply a tennis match. It's a chess match played at extraordinary speed. Every adjustment will trigger another adjustment. Every tactical change will receive an immediate response. Neither woman can rely on mystery anymore. Only execution. But perhaps the biggest difference between their previous meeting and this one has nothing to do with tactics. It's confidence. When Eala lost in North Carolina, she was still searching for proof that she truly belonged among the world's best. Now she walks onto center court carrying victories over elite champions. That's a completely different mindset. Winning changes athletes. It changes posture, decision-making, belief. Instead of wondering whether she belongs, she now expects to compete with anyone standing across the net. Still, Wimbledon introduces a completely different kind of pressure. Being seeded isn't always an advantage. Sometimes it becomes a burden. Every headline reminds you that you're supposed to win. Every prediction favors you. Every upset becomes your responsibility to avoid. For the first time in her career, Alexandra Eala arrives at Wimbledon carrying expectations that extend far beyond herself. Millions of Filipino fans believe this tournament could become another historic milestone. Analysts see her as one of the most dangerous young players in the entire draw. Opponents know she's arriving in the best form of her career. That creates enormous emotional weight before the very first point is played. Meanwhile, Renata Zarazúa enjoys something incredibly valuable: freedom. Very few people expect her to win. And in professional sports, that can become a dangerous advantage. Players with nothing to lose often produce their very best tennis. They swing more freely, take greater risks, feel less pressure on crucial points. If Zarazúa survives Eala's early aggression and drags this match deep into the opening set, the emotional balance could begin shifting once again. Because doubt has a funny way of appearing when expectations become overwhelming. Every missed forehand suddenly feels larger. Every break point carries extra pressure. Every scoreboard becomes impossible to ignore. Zarazua understands this better than almost anyone. She doesn't need spectacular winners. She simply needs to make Alexandra Eala ask herself one dangerous question. What if this is happening again? And if that thought appears, even for a few moments, this already fascinating match could become one of the most unforgettable opening round battles Wimbledon has witnessed in years. But as enormous as this rivalry already feels, something even bigger waits just beyond it. A possibility so extraordinary that both players would be lying if they claimed it hadn't crossed their minds at least once. Because waiting in the next round is a name that has defined an entire generation of tennis. A name capable of changing careers with a single match. And that possibility adds another layer of pressure neither woman can completely ignore.